Shantanu, you mentioned in this morning's G8 session that you felt the major challenge for practitioners was going beyond the letter of the contract, as you put it. Can you expand a little bit more upon what you meant by that for our members?
Yeah, I mean, Emma, if you look at what the initial outsourcing contracts were designed, they were really based on cost arbitrage, okay, and transactional efficiency and savings. As we get into what we are calling globalization 2.0, which is really moving from cost to value, you need to have a contractual model and a relationship model, more importantly, which incentivizes the service providers to innovate, which incentivizes them to bring a lot more contextual capability and competency to delivering their services as opposed to just doing it efficiently and accurately. So while the original contracts and the letter of the contracts will often specify accuracy, speed, transactional efficiency, commitments, the relationship has to be robust enough to go beyond that and start looking at what matters for the business totally. And that's really what I meant on that model.
And we heard some other really quite controversial comments this morning around the subject of protectionism. And I wondered if you could expand a little bit for us on your views behind what's driving the logic and with regard to protectionism, where you think governments are coming from and potentially what the situation really is as opposed to the hype.
I think there's a real issue here. I mean, as economies contract, there's obviously jobs being lost. And therefore, there is going to be heightened sensitivity about jobs moving from one particular country to another country or a set of countries. I don't think we can just brush that aside. I think what we need to think about as a group of organization or group of customers is what are the alternatives here? I mean, as an economy downsizes or shrinks, people have to get used to lower aggregate demand, which basically means that they have to get used to a lower aggregate cost structure. So either the option is that you give up doing certain things or you give up investing in your core businesses because you can't afford it in the short run, or you substitute that with a lower cost model. Now, from an objective plane, you know what the trade-offs to be done. But I don't want to underestimate the emotional hurdles to be crossed in making that choice to actually happen in the ground.
Another controversial question which was sent to us by the members but we didn't get a chance to cover today that I'd like you to comment on if you can. There's a proposition that companies need to have a certain percentage of headcount offshore before they obtain any substantial benefits. There's been comments made that this potentially could just be a marketing pitch by the vendors to increase size and volume. What would your comments and remarks on that be?
Yeah, Emma, it goes back to actually the first answer a little bit. If you're looking at size of the savings only from a cost arbitrage or a labor arbitrage, then obviously if you have very few people whom you're offshoring or outsourcing, your total dollar savings, even if you might save a sensible percentage, is obviously going to be small. I think as you grow up the value chain and you have a business partner who works with you both at an onshore level, works with you on a business outcome based level, for example, works on your spend deflation, which has got nothing to do with offshoring, okay? Works on marketing analytics, which has got very little to how many number of heads of people you have offshored. Then the quantum of value you can derive out of the relationship changes from a linear equation to number of people being outsourced or offshored. And I think that's really part of the new wave of globalization of what service providers need to bring to the customers.